Well, happy Friday, Cultural Confederates. And you know what that means? Time for another Oddly Friday news episode. And if you're new to the channel, what you see is what you get. It's anything goes. We talk about history, culture, current events, you name it. And I do it with the still shot. What you see is what you get. So I want to focus this Friday on the 250th anniversary of this thing called America. So I've got three stories for you. Actually, one of them is going to be a video from PBS we're going to talk about. I'll analyze it as we go. But there's a little story out of Westbrook, Maine I want to share with you. Oh, this is juicy, and nobody's talking about this. In fact, I had a really hard time trying to find all the details about the story. There's maybe one article out there about it, and you have to subscribe to even get into the article. But there's a little excerpt about it if you look for it. So I'll share that with you here in just a moment. And then, have you heard about the new Trump coin that's been proposed for the 250th anniversary that was voted down last month? Well, we'll get into that here in just a sec. So let's get to this. This is going to be more of a long-form video here, so just bear with me. And we do these in one take. They are what they are. So this is out of the this is from Westbrook, Maine, Portland Press Herald. Are you ready for this one? So apparently there is this dispute between the Westbrook Bucket Brigade and Westbrook Historical Society, and they're at odds over several issues, and they're threatening each other with a lawsuit or legal action. Now, the brigade is accusing the Westbrook Historical Society of elder abuse, harassment, theft, and staging a hostile takeover. Meanwhile, the WHS, the Historical Society, is downplaying the Bucket Brigade as an organization. Now, this apparently surrounds about $10,000 worth or so of artifacts that the brigade has taken the time to restore. So this is a juicy story, and if anybody knows anything more about it, please let me know in the comments section below. I love covering stories like this because they're stories that nobody else is willing to cover. And it has to deal with history, cultural preservation, which we talk about here on the channel. But I thought this was such an interesting story, I share it with you. Again, I shared it with you. Yeah, share it with you. Can I talk today? Okay. Shared, whatever it is. But as I said, we do this in one take. So, again, Westbrook, Maine, you got this dispute between the Westbrook Fire Brigade, or Bucket Brigade, rather, and the Westbrook Historical Society, and one's accusing the other of this, that, or the other. And it all surrounds these artifacts, and there could be elderly abuse. Oh, this is juicy, 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 juicy. Now, regarding this Trump coin, this is over at Truthout. Critics blast decision to mint Trump coin for U.S. 250th anniversary. Now, there has been a federal commission that has approved a design or designs for a 24-karat gold coin featuring President Trump, who's standing behind a desk. He's posing behind a desk with both fists on top of the desk, and he's got a stern look. You know that classic Trump stern look. Now, this was a unanimous vote from the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts. What the hell is the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts doing approving this? Shouldn't this all be handled by the U.S. Mint? Just as to show you the inefficiency of the U.S. government. But you have what's known as the CCAC, or the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee, that had a meeting last month to downvote this. So they decided not to approve. They're one of the last people you have to go through, organizations, or rather commissions you have to go through to get this approved. So the U.S. Mint, surprisingly, the U.S. Mint pulled the video of them voting down this measure, or this coin, to be minted, featuring Trump with his classic stern look. So I finally want to go to this story over at PBS. Share this with you here. Now, this is Judy Woodruff, who years ago, if you haven't caught this, years ago did or didn't see this, can't even, like I say, can't talk, go and take video. But years ago, Judy Woodruff did a report on the PTL scandal. Actually, it's really good. A really good documentary. It's called Praise the Lord. So go check that out. But this is about America being at a crossroads. Title of the video or the article here at PBS, Americans Divided on Nation's History as 250th Anniversary Near. So I'm going to play the video for you. We'll go through it. Not all of it. It's about an 8-minute video, and for the sake of time, I'll just do part of it. But I want you to listen to this, and I'll comment as we go. You ready for it? So again, Judy Woodruff, Americans Divided on Nation's History as 250th Anniversary Approaches at PBS.
Kind of the heart of the Gettysburg battlefield here on Cemetery Ridge.
On the hallowed grounds of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where in early July 1863 there were as many as 51,000 American casualties, the worst.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. So I thought we were talking about the 250th anniversary. So if we're talking about the Civil War to start out with here, we're actually going back to 150, 160 years. So is this supposed to be about the Civil War or about... Now, I understand that's part of American history, but wouldn't you want to go back to the founding first?
Alan Spears discovered a story he hadn't known.
I had to come here, 10, 11, 12 times before I actually walked past the interpretive marker that told me.
Now, Alan Spears is black, and he's part of the... Let me back this up for a second. He's part of the National Parks Conservation Association. It's going to be key here.
Told me about Abraham Bryan and his
Pardon me.
family.
Growing up in nearby Washington, D.C., Spears early on discovered a love of bullets and bayonets.
A love of bullets and bayonets. Judy, would you have included that? Or why would you include that wordage in this video? The guy is black, and you're saying he developed this love for bullets and bayonets? I'm just saying people can misinterpret that, okay? I know that wasn't the intention, but in this day and age...
He spotted a sign that led him to a different story.
And pardon the audio here. I've got it up as far as it will go.
American who fled as Confederate forces approached ahead of the battle.
You've got the house and barn of a free African American. You've got the 11th Mississippi Infantry Regiment fighting for the cause that they believed in, using that house and barn as a guide on point. Abraham Bryan and his family left here because they were afraid that they might be captured by Confederate forces.
Now that's a cool story.
It's almost the entire...
Make a movie about it. That's a cool story. I'd go for that.
Just captured in a few acres. Those were the Confederate positions on Friday, July 3rd.
Spears works in cultural affairs at the National Park Conservation Association, a nonprofit that advocates for the parks. And he works...
So it's not even... He's working for a nonprofit that's not even part of... Well, he works for the National Park Service, but it's not part of the National Park Service. It's a non-profit organization.
Worries that this is exactly the kind of history now at risk under the Trump administration.
There are some folks who feel like, in the name of combating diversity, equity, and inclusion, in the name of fighting...
Here we go, folks.
...back against wokeness, that we have to restore our history.
The Lincolnian vision of America.
Celebrates everything that's happened in this country. And if you have challenging elements of our history, the forced removal of indigenous people and tribes, the issue of slavery, emancipation, the civil rights movement, those sorts of things, those elements complicate our national narrative.
But you're also leaving out another part of the story. Several parts of the story here to this thing called the United States. Well, number one, how the place was founded. Number two, what about all these other groups that had disadvantages? I can name a whole slew of them. Many of them who aren't white. Oh, I don't know, the Chinese in California. So you got the Asians. Who else? Mexicans, Hispanics, Albanians, Iranians. But what about the Irish and the Germans and the Italians and the Polish and the Czechs? And it seems like everybody who came to America in the beginning had a rough time. But what about all the great inventions we had and all of those people who contributed to their community, who became great inventors, who founded businesses?
Last year, President Trump signed a flurry of executive orders related to DEI, including
DEI.
restoring
Diversity,
truth
equity, and
sanity
inclusion.
to American history. Over the past decade, it says, Americans have witnessed a concerted and widespread effort to rewrite our nation's history, replacing objective facts with a distorted narrative driven by ideology rather than truth. The order directed Interior Secretary Doug Burgum to, quote, ensure that all public monuments, memorials, statues, and markers focus on the greatness of the achievements and progress of the American people.
Now, why can't we do that and also talk about, some of these other things that happened? Let's just throw it all in there. Hey, this is what happened. This is what happened during the Civil War. This is what happened during the American Revolution. History is what it is. If you're looking for the perfect nation on this planet, you ain't going to find it because it's never existed. It's never going to happen because human beings are flawed. Human beings are flawed.
And the beauty, abundance, and grandeur of the American landscape.
This is a great country, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to see, different places in the country, and I have, it's gorgeous.
Late last year, reports of
Here we go.
Began to pop up.
We will not be erased. We will not go back in the closet.
From LGBTQ history,
the Stonewall Memorial,
to women. Perhaps most visibly at Philadelphia's Independence National Historical Park, once home to George Washington and his wife Martha. There, the NPS staff in January removed an exhibit about 9 of the slaves Washington kept at the property.
Did you know Washington had slaves?
Forget our history, to forget our past. And that's kind of been a hallmark of our ancestry in this country, is to just.
So she's interviewed different people here.
Every nation, every part of the world has parts in their history that they don't like and that are wrong.
That's true.
But you can't just take that out and pretend it didn't happen.
That's also true.
The city of Philadelphia sued the Department of the Interior and the Park Service over the removal, and a judge, quoting George Orwell's 1984,
George Orwell's 1984.
The panel's return last month, while the lawsuit makes its way through the courts. The Department of the Interior didn't respond to our request for an interview or for comment.
There's more awareness that we've swung too
Now
far.
here's where things really take a turn. So her name here is Brenda Hafera, Heritage Foundation.
Brenda Hafera is a scholar with the Heritage Foundation, the conservative think tank in Washington, where she's heading up the organization's own review of historical sites across the country.
So now we've got this guy in the beginning who is, you see what they did here? This guy's black, she's white. He's part of this, nonprofit, which probably has Democrat voters most likely. Maybe he votes Democrat himself. I don't know. Maybe he's a Republican. Who knows? Maybe he's neutral, independent voter. And she's part of the Heritage Foundation. The 1619 Project, 1776 Project, ring a bell?
She says the Trump administration's actions are a necessary correction to what had become systematic bias in favor of DEI and away from accuracy and proportionality.
You can just
Proportionality now.
ways by overemphasizing and disproportionately focusing on the negative, or you distort things by whitewashing history. And neither of those are acceptable.
She points to Mount Vernon as an example of a place doing it right. She gave it an A for its inclusion of George Washington's life, his time as a general, and as the first president, as well as for exhibits about the people he enslaved.
So as I said, let's include it all. There's no harm in that. Let's learn from it. So I don't want to take up too much time with the video, but I wanted to end with this today on our Oddly Friday News episode. Again, this is over at PBS. Americans Divided on the Nation's History as 250th Anniversary nears. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. And don't forget to find me at Substack. I do articles on Substack, which reminds me I got to do an article on Substack. I haven't done one in a while. Also find me at X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed 1 on X, or go to Instagram. Just follow me at Jason197711. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless. I'll catch you next time. Keep up the culture, and y'all have a great Friday.